world where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living room. It's Curious Times. Your host is a curious listener. Here she is, Chris.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Curious Times. It's Wednesday, January 4th, and Barbara DeLong is here. It's our first show with Barbara in this brand new spanking new year. And I think I hope that I wasn't mistaken and that she's going to maybe share some of her New Year's predictions with us on this show. And some readings, if you guys get into queue in time, then you can speak with Barbara a little bit later after we're done our initial segment. Quickly, what's coming up the rest of the week? Amy Kavanagh is here tomorrow. Salva Dutton from Australia is here Friday. Saturday, Kimber. Sunday, it's Dr. Ida Green. Monday, numerologist Michael John Fierro is here. And Tuesday, Melissa Bruce, our astrologer, for her first appearance of the new year. And Kathleen Moore is here 1 week from tonight. So, with that said, Barbara DeLong is here. For those of you guys all that know her, I know there might be some new folks here, certainly one that may not be familiar with Barbara. And so buckle your seatbelt. I'm just kidding. Put on your crash helmets, and that person isn't listening. So anyhow, a lot of good that advice did. She's a spiritual intuit. She hosts her own show on Blog Talk Radio and freedomslips.com called Nightlight. That's been going for many years. She created her own oracle deck that's called the Cosmic Deck of Initiation, which I am the proud owner of. And what's really cool and unique about these is about this deck is, I do this stuff, I never plan on it. The cards are circular. And, as an Aboriginal person, of course, all the teachings are around circles and all of this kind of thing. So circle, circle, circle. Circle is a great idea for a deck. Circular cards, ladies and gentlemen. Get it, step right up, and get your Cosmic Deck of Initiation by Barbara DeLong. And you can get that, I'll get to that in a minute. Let me put that away. She's also the author of a book called Whispers of Spiritual Wisdom. You can get both the deck and the book at Amazon. So just go to Amazon and type in Barbara DeLong. And with over 40 years experience, which should actually be now more like 50, sorry, Barbara. She provides seekers with excellent readings and guidance. Check out Barbara's website and her show, as well as a documentary that she did called Secrets of the Stones. And you can find the documentary on YouTube if you just search for the user Oracle Tracker. And Barbara's website, which will have every other single way of getting a hold of Barbara known to man, www.barbaradelong.com. So here comes Barbara. Happy New Year, Barbara.
I dozed off. Is it still 17 or have we gone into 18?
Easy. Oh, I could see that that's not going to change this year.
Holy crap. Hi, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. That was a long intro.
Sing me out, and it's only 8:05, and I didn't even start at 8 o'clock. Come on, Barbara. Jeez. Kind of person. So anyway, yes, Happy New Year. Did you have a good holiday season?
I had a relaxing one to a point, and then I got 2 kittens, and it turned crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's good though. How many wires have been chewed up now?
Well, the tree came down almost immediately. I mean, I took it down. No, I took it down. Yeah. They were chewing on the wires, and I just said, no, this is not going to happen. And so day after Christmas, the tree came down. But other than that, yeah, they are. I think they have adrenaline rubbing in their veins. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Probably you and I did once upon a time when we were only 6 weeks old too, you know.
Yeah, probably. It's just
that far back.
Oh God, no, they are so much fun to watch and.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah, I know. I got all. I want to get a cat, but I know I shouldn't, so I probably won't. It's just one more. My luck, I'd get one that's going to cost me $1 bazillion that I can't afford and stuff like that. So I'm just going to leave it for now. But
they're good company. They're really good company.
Oh, they are. I know. I know. And I do like getting them in pairs too. They can keep each other occupied too. And but I have this idea of getting a little puppy and a little kitten both on the same day and bringing them both home together so that they don't, so that the cat doesn't, get all territorial and freak out on the dog, I hate it when it upsets me to watch. Yeah, it upsets me to watch like cats being mean to dogs.
Well, cats do rule. They have to let the dogs know.
They're just bullies,
No, there is not a
game. Dog loses his eye,
I have not had a dog that did not have a scar on his nose. Just one. Mm-hmm. From the cat saying, "Too close, Buster. Back off."
and I, just because I'm bored, there doesn't even have to be a reason for a cat, Cats can be a little bit like, a little bit bitchy,
Because I can.
Because I can, exactly, because I can.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's good. So brand new year. What have you? Are you going to talk a little bit about your predictions for the new year?
I can. There's an overview, and January is up on my website. And there are 2 radio shows that I did that talked about 2017. It looks like it's going to be very interesting, actually. A lot of new and unusual energy. One of the there have been a couple of different times I've done the 2017 stuff, and it does look like a couple of time frames stand out. April, May, it looks like travel is going to be restricted for most people in the U.S. And if you're out of the country, you may not be able to get back in as soon as you would like. It's not going to be permanent, but there's going to be restrictions that are quite stringent. One of the things that came through that was kind of interesting is the fact that we would actually we're going to be told or informed, or it's going to come out. I don't know how it's going to be, revealed, that all of our NASA, our space travel and stuff like that is really just a facade to cover up the fact that we've been working on interdimensional travel for at least the last 40 years. So all of this spaceship stuff is just to cover up another program that's been going on for a very long time. And that they have really no intention of colonizing Mars. It's just been something to keep people sort of, I don't know. I think the fact that they're working on interdimensional travel in real time, they haven't gone into the past or the future yet, I don't think, but they can do interdimensional travel in real time, which of course refers only to the Earth plane. Then I saw there are going to be riots in the sanctuary cities, most importantly Chicago, and the military will go in there, but not until later in the year. Then over the summer, I saw medical stuff being revealed that they've been doing all sorts of testing on a lot of different natural products and finding that natural cures actually do cure, but synthetics made to mimic the natural cure do not. As a matter of fact, if you're taking a synthetic or something that has been developed chemically by the government, it really compromises your system. And yet, if you utilize the natural aspects that went into the original cure, because they have the element of life in them, the cure is long-standing and stuff. So we're going to go back to the natural utilization of the natural.
Just as soon as they can find a way to tax it and trademark it.
Oh, and the other big thing was that many large corporate entities are going to be broken up into smaller corporate entities.
Everybody's except Donald Trump's.
Not going there. No, it's going to be. They're going to take large pharma. They're going to take a lot of the very large, like they did with Ma Bell a long time ago. Ma Bell was they determined that Ma Bell was had a monopoly and it was forced to break up into smaller companies, and they're going to do that with large corporations, especially the cars and big pharma and things like that. They're going to break it all up. There's going to be a greater and I don't know if it's the right word or not, but there's going to be a greater policing and making sure that money that is granted, that is given out on grants is actually used for the grants that they had applied for. So there's going to be a real they're really going to crank down on where money is spent and if it's spent appropriately, and if it's not, then the money is taken back. And so there's going to be a lot of upset in many different places, but overall it's going to be good for the larger population. That's about it.
I was making fun the other day, for the past few weeks, because, now this is December and into early January is when all the psychics come with their with their predictions, and I'm like, okay, here's my predictions for what their predictions are going to be.
Okay.
And it's just like the same old with most of them, right, Barbara? There's going to be a hurricane, and I think a couple of tornadoes that are going to be really bad and kill people, and there's going to be an assassination attempt, and there's going to be the Queen will die this year, and then we get into the Hollywood, who's going to be jumping Tom, what's his face's bones, and who's breaking up and who's not. And so I always make fun of it. And so your forecast isn't as depressing as it is to listen to a lot of people. So you know what I mean? It's just like doom and gloom, terrorism and death and destruction, and never ever talking about anything good that might happen, you know what I mean? And mostly a lot of, and there's going to be a plane crash, and there's going to be, a bus crash, and oh my God, it's all typical cookie cutter stuff that a lot of them do.
Well, when you really look at a lot of the predictions, you're right, there are a lot of similarities, but that part of it could be because they're all saying the same thing. The other part is that fear sells. So, the more fear you put out there, the more people are going to, want to listen to what you have to say. I don't know. I get the feeling that it may be an unsettling year, but I think it's going to be a very positive year overall.
Good.
You know, I don't get the feeling that we're going to go to war any more than we already are. You know, I mean, you know, we are theoretically involved in trying to get rid of the radical Islamics and stuff like that, but I don't think I think that's a you know, kind of a we'll toe our mark, so to speak. But
I think you guys are going to have your hands full with your own potential civil war, anyways, and so it's a good, you know. Hopefully there is. They don't have. Hopefully there's. Well, of course, if somebody starts dropping bombs on American soil, then you guys will tend to join up together and love each other for that period of time. You know, that was always my thing when I compare New Orleans to 9/11. You know, everybody kumbaya'd together with 9/11, and people were raping and murdering each other and stealing and everything else when Mother Nature was the attacker. You know, so people were taking advantage when Mother Nature was the attacker, and when it was some outside enemy or perceived outside enemy. I don't know how many people believe anymore that 9/11 was really the way that it's been said. I mean, my biggest problem, my brain almost exploded when all the conspiracy theorists were all, oh, the government did that, George Bush, and I'm all like, you got to be like, what government is really going to murder, you know, thousands of its own people in that way? But when they find when part of their evidence includes a passport that was on one of the planes that went kaboom, and we know that there was DNA sprayed for buildings, like buildings far away had DNA on their rooftops, years later. That for it to be even possible that somebody's passport just like gently wafts to the ground to be discovered defies logic in my mind. You know what I mean? And so when I saw that, like, I had a real problem with the whole thing. I mean, not to mention, and not to mention, you know, the way the buildings came down and all that, like, but just that when you're telling me that you found, you know, this guy did it because here's his passport, and people were exploded, like vaporized, and yet this passport survives. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. I don't know who did the 9/11 attack, quite frankly. But nonetheless, all I'm trying to say is that there's more likeliness that the American people come together when there's an external threat versus an internal threat, you know?
Well, that's true. And you know, a lot of the outrage that, you know, you're still seeing, you know, reminds me of how monkeys and apes are. You know, they yell at each other and throw shit at each other, and yet they don't do anything. They never actually come to fisticuffs. And I think that's what you got. You got people that are mouthing off and will go back and do their jobs. And, you know, frankly, to be perfectly honest, you know, I don't get my, I don't look to Hollywood actors to tell me how I should live my life or have the country be run. You know, that's not their job. Their job is to, you know, play characters on a screen, and that's how they're paid. They're paid millions of dollars for that, and to think that they have the expertise or the experience to impose themselves in politics and running a country is just a joke. And anybody who listens to them, you know.
I thought when the star of The Apprentice decided that he wanted to be president of the United States, and now he's been replaced by the former actor Schwarzenegger, who was a governor also. But, you know, you have to agree, though, that they at least have as much of a right to an opinion as you do, right? And they're taking advantage of their airtime, if you will. They're going to get coverage. And yeah, Reagan was an actor. So every citizen has a right to their opinion. There's times when I know who am I? I'm a nobody, and I spout off about it. You'll talk about your opinions of it. We're both on the very mini media, but here we are talking about it, and so that at the very least, everybody has at least an equal right to an opinion and to voice that opinion. It's whose fault that it's being covered. Then now you have a beef with the media more so, I think. Eh?
Well, if it were equal, it would be one thing. But they have the money and they can afford. Their name gets them on national TV, and you and I don't have that kind of an audience. But
exactly. Trump got elected, though, Barbara. It's all of his money and his popularity as a celebrity. It's exactly how he got elected. So on the one hand, you're condemning that, and on the other hand, that's how your guys' president even came to be.
He won the election.
Yeah, he won, but he wouldn't have never been there in the running if it weren't for his celebrity and his money, Barbara, right?
He won the election. The people elected him, Chris, and now we have to give him a chance.
Certainly not a majority, not even close.
He won the electoral vote. No, he won the electoral vote, and that's what counts.
Yes, he did. But it is noteworthy because this speaks to how divided the country is, that he has that no other candidate that won the election lost the popular vote by as much, not even close, as he did. So I don't give a shit. He is the president. Of course he is. I'm talking about.
Don't you agree, though, Chris, that he deserves a chance? Don't you agree?
I've said as much, Barbara.
Okay.
I said as much many times. And my comment about it is to say, on the one hand, we want to criticize a celebrity for getting covered by the media to pontificate about politics, and that's what Donald Trump has been doing for years, for decades even. And so that's all I'm trying to point out. I'm not trying to negate his presidency or anything else like that. He's the man who's going to be the guy, and so. But you have to acknowledge that the way he got there is exactly through his money and his celebrity.
Gosh, I thought it was because he went and talked to all the people.
No, not really. He lied to all the people. But anyway, you and I will never agree on it. But we'll see. We'll see how things shake down. My only point is there's a huge rift. There isn't even close to a majority of people in the regular, everyday people in the United States that are on one side or the other. It's like there's only 3 million separation. So that's not good. That's not good. It's a country very much divided, and so it's going to be hard going, I think, for a while, and we'll see what happens. But the first thing out of the gate, I said, I hope that he does great things, and I hope that everything blah blah, like I really do, because I don't want to see, unrest like this happening in my next door neighbor's house, because whatever's affecting you guys affects us deeply in Canada, economically and in other ways. So, of course, I want the best. I want the best outcome that can possibly happen. So, anyway, so do you think that there's going to be no war? That means that, do you believe there's going to be an external terrorist attack on the United States? Or did you get any information about assassination attempts?
I didn't. Michelle Avanti, who's the astrologer that does my show once a month, she saw an assassination attempt December, I think. But I did not see that. I just saw, hold on a second. Oh, I hate doing this. Can I do this? Maybe.
Getting you.
Okay, wait. Allow. Don't go nowhere. Allow.
You going to bring your camera on?
Yeah.
Oh. Not yet.
This is Sweetie. Can you see her?
Hang on. So you got to click
Start sharing.
Share. Yeah, start sharing. Yay! So you guys can. Oh, that's too cute. Oh, I just love it.
I have her brother too, but he's busy tearing the house apart.
Oh, she's a sweetie.
Look at her belly. She got white, and she walked through spaghetti the other night, and she had orange feet, but she doesn't have orange feet now.
Right on. Right on.
Okay.
Those I love kittens. So what are they, about 8 weeks old now?
12.
8 or 10? 12. Well, so they weren't just like 6 weeks when you got them then?
No, they were 12 when I got them, so they're 12, they're 14 weeks now.
Hey, wow, hey.
Yeah, they're really cute.
And you're gonna blink, and then they're gonna be big cats again. You know what I mean? And,
well, she's only 3 pounds. He's already 5 pounds. So if he wanders in, I'll grab him too.
Wow, what's your question, Gemini? Question, I didn't see Gemini.
Had to be something about restriction in the United States.
Why does Barbara see restricted? Or why do you see travel restricted? Why do you see travel restricted?
I feel that there's going to be watch out. I've got he's walking across every. Oops, sorry, cat.
Cat.
So I did see restriction in the April-May time frame. It felt like it had something to do with immigration. It had something to do with whether it's the wall or it has something to do with immigration. And I felt strongly that we would be restricted to travel, even maybe in the lower states. We would be able to, and it's just for a short period of time. Maybe it's only 4 to 6 weeks, but it does feel as though there's going to be a time where travel to and from, in and out of the United States is going to be restricted for a while, so till we can get vetting set up and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's going to go over too well with the people. You know what I mean? Oh,
no,
goodness.
Probably not. But I have to tell you, when I went to the theater the other night, they not only looked in all of our purses, but they wanded us all, and it was and of course when you travel and you go onto a plane, you go through all of that the process, and it could be that they are setting something like that up. I'm not sure. All I got was that it was there was going to be a restriction. We were going to be restricted travel-wise.
So you think that's like flying, like in other words, because when you say even within the country, like you're saying that a guy can't get in his car and go to a meeting in Oregon from 2 states over?
Well, I got travel was restricted. I'm just wondering. I don't know if it was. That's a good question. I got the feeling it was more air travel.
Right.
So that ground travel would be fine. But I would look towards what kind of things were happening in that time frame before I made plans to go out of the country. Because you just might not be able to get back in exactly when you want to. I don't know. It just felt like they were really going to be holding, they were going to be really working very hard at making sure that people who come into this country come in here legally, and that they, don't have a crime sheet that's longer than your arm and your leg, and if it makes the United States harder to get into, and it helps to prevent some of the things, although a lot of the things that have happened have been homegrown terrorists. They haven't come into the country. They were radicalized in the country while they were here. So, but I do think that they're going to make every effort possible to make sure that if someone has committed
I think that there's been, this whole terrorism thing, it allows for there to be, for a whack job that's going to go crazy and do bad things anyway, it allows for them to, because there was a case that, it was either the nightclub or something like that, where the guy didn't even know what the hell he was talking about. He was on the phone and saying, pledging allegiance to this and to that, and here they were warring factions and enemies of each other, and he didn't really seem to be knowing who the hell he was doing it for, And so in some of these cases, it's, there have always been disgruntled people in every country, and right now it allows them to actually raise that fear thing by saying that they're working for or doing this for in the past Al-Qaeda or now ISIS or whatever terrorist group, and when in fact they're not, and they were going to go and do whatever they were doing anyway, and it just adds that extra paranoia and extra level of fear and stuff to it. But yeah, there's a lot of inside the country radicalization going on.
Oh yeah, but and they're and as far as illegal aliens and stuff like that, it sounds like they're going to go after those that are criminals, those that have a record, those that have been deported and come right back before they even, get work down the chain. And by the time they work down the chain, they will most probably let, anybody who has a life and a family and stuff like that here and is paying taxes, and they'll probably let them stay. But the criminals, thank you very much, get them out. And, we'll see what happens. I don't think that this is a plan that is going to, in any way, shape, or form, be able to even be acted upon. Well, wait, let me put it this way. They're going to start enforcing the laws. And once they start enforcing the laws, that takes care of a lot of it. I mean, there are laws on the books. It's just that they haven't been enforced. So we'll see what happens. Even Emmanuel in Chicago, when they said Trump, I think Trump said that he might have to use the National Guard, and Emmanuel said, yeah, send them. If it gets that bad, yes, send them in.
I love how this goes though, because I remember through Obama's tenure. All the conspiracy theories, they're setting up this and and it's never been Obama's intent that there will ever be another election, and he's going to be the last president, and he's going to become a dictator, and I was just like over here going, what kind of crack are you people smoking for real? And now, I'm saying now it seems okay that we can send the army in and send the military, and you see what I mean? Like, it drives me crazy. That depends on what party's in power, whether we agree or not agree that we could send the military in.
And let's face it, almost every president that's been out there has had people that thought they wanted to take over the world, and that they were, corrupt, and that they were this and they were that. I mean, no president has gotten through their tenure without having, you get office and you're set up there on a pedestal to let everybody take pot shots at, and they do. Yeah. You can't please all of the people all of the time.
Well, you can't please almost anyone any of the time. It's really the reality of it. And so I've always said to people, and, again, it's like interesting that, but, first of all, your guy's going to have the House and the Senate. So, he should be able to ram whatever through he wants to ram through. But, I'm trying to say, like, it's not an easy job no matter who's in it. If they're doing it for the genuine good of the people and not their own pocketbook, and they're just doing the job for the genuine good of the people, it's a tough thing because there's so many competing interests that making a decision here is obviously going to have a negative impact on a different group of people, and it's kind of what that game, what was that game called, Sims or something? That was kind of what that game Sims was teaching people, I think. Like, let's say you have to set up a city and be the mayor of a city or whatever. Every decision you make, so you decide to go and build a park over here. Well, now you got people mad at you because the money should have gone to this, or now you got less people, less citizens because they're leaving your city, and so now you don't have as much taxes, and therefore you don't have money for programs. Now you have to decide what programs to cut. Like, it's not an easy job, and people can sit back and say, "Oh, he didn't get this done, or he didn't get that done," it's not a job that having been in a position of a very small, like infinitesimal size to this, I was always under attack. You know what I mean? And all I could do was try to make decisions for the greater good. And I truly went with the democratic process, and so if there was ever an issue that wasn't already clearly outlaid by contract language or something like this, then the people would vote on it, and I would go argue that to the people. And, it's kind of the way that I wish that politics would be, is that, because in a constituency, you go and you elect your representative, and then you never hear from them again until it's time for them to get your vote back again. And in the meanwhile, it would really be a true representation of what the people want, for each of these, for there to be some way of, because the representative is supposed to be representing the people that elected them, and all too often they get elected and then they toe the party line, which isn't always what their people want, and that would be a beautiful, like, where real people are candidates, not parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I'm electing an individual, not somebody who, and the same thing happens in our province and other provinces and in Canada is, we get an MLA elected, and then they have, like, we've had times where some of our representatives have had to quit the caucus, quit their party basically, because they were not willing on behalf of their constituents to vote through something and toe the party line. And so they've been either ousted or they've had to step away to independence so that they could actually represent their people and not their party.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that I've said this often. I think they should wipe it all out and start again. And but don't forget all that we learned from getting this far, and founding fathers did have elements in there, and they basically said, if this doesn't work, do away with it and do something that does work for you. It's not carved in stone. And the trouble
I always think about, the founding fathers. People they go, oh, the founding fathers did this. Like, the founding, like, think about the world that they were envisioning at that time. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff going on now couldn't even have been a possibility in their brain, right?
Well, everybody thinks that the United States was founded on Judeo-Christian philosophy, and it wasn't. The founding fathers were most of them deists, and they really were trying to put together a brave new world, and they didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
Nice try, though.
Well, I'm just saying, like, sometimes, and same with some of these old laws. We used to do shows like to make fun of some of the most ridiculous laws that are still on the books. You know what I mean? Like, it's illegal to paint a ladder. or something like that. And, other very ridiculous laws that have no application anymore to today. And so we have to have a legislature and a legal system and citizens who understand that that laws need to change with the times to meet the new challenges. And, can you imagine back in 1900 or 1867, can you imagine anybody envisioning that, A, a husband could rape a wife, number one, or number two, what happens when you have two elderly, a married couple that's elderly, one of them has dementia or Alzheimer's or something like this, and can they now give consent for sex? You know what I mean? And these are some of the things that are being wrestled with legally now, and none of the forefathers, whatever you want to call them, could have ever envisioned, such things happening in society. And so the laws need to be relevant as well. And so some of them old laws, you know what I mean, they were based on certain things at that time which are no longer relevant, and people are clinging to those, with the white knuckles and trying to speak on behalf of the forefathers or whatever, or founding fathers or whatever you want to call it. And so,
I think they'd be horrified.
Anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
Hey, look at George Washington.
There was corruption just as bad back then too, right?
No, I don't think it was as bad, but certainly I'm sure there was corruption. But
the rich and the guys with the money and blah blah blah, and so.
I don't know. No, wait, that's not true, because John Adams was very poor. He was a farmer. Washington, he was a landowner, so was Jefferson, so were some of the others, but millionaires, I don't know about that. But,
that's relative. Back then, if you made $2 a day, you were a millionaire. You know what you were the equivalent. So, you know what I'm saying? We can't.
Well, it depended. If you were, down south, you had more land and you probably had slaves and stuff. And if you were up north, then, more industrial, perhaps, there were rich people. But for the most part, the signers of the Declaration of Independence were pretty well spread, as far as occupations and wealth and things like that. It didn't enter into it as much. And then you had your those who wanted freedom and those who wanted to stay with the British. I mean, you had two-party system then, no matter what. So
what are you talking about, Eric? So Eric's saying we could have instant runoff voting via the underlying technology that secures Bitcoin transactions and bypass both the parties and the current faulty election system. Instant runoff voting would allow everyone to rank the candidates by preference, and when a preferred candidate is eliminated, your vote defaults to the next preference. I wouldn't want my next Oh, you mean so let's say there's 10 candidates, Eric. If there's only 3 that I want to endorse, then what? Because I don't want to put a number beside someone that I absolutely am opposed to. You know what I mean? So he's kind of saying that, and whatever that way would be, we need people coming up with something, and certainly a way that isn't hackable, which I don't know if that's possible anymore. I don't know if anyone can prevent hacking. I don't know. And,
no, I don't think you can. I think that there are clever young men out there constantly. When my son was 16, he wasn't a hacker, but he ran a bulletin board, and I mean, we had Margaret Thatcher's home phone number on the bulletin board. It was the coolest thing ever. This goes way back, though. This goes back to the 70s. And but there are extremely I mean, the techie kids
It's
are just...
since the Commodore 64 or the VicCom 20 or whatever the hell that was, where you would have to spend hours copying in code just to get a Pong game up or something like that.
Yeah, I took classes after the apples were put in the school. I took classes for programming, and oh my God, it was pages and pages and pages for maybe 15 seconds worth of something happening on the screen.
Right. Yeah.
It was amazing.
I got a semicolon wrong or something and then try to find the mistake in the coding. Oh my God, it's brutal. It's very, very, very technical and programmed on a Commodore 64. That's what I mean, Eric. You know what I mean?
And how about the punch cards too?
Punch cards?
Yeah.
What do you mean punch cards?
There were punch cards you had to you punched out and then you fed them in and the punch cards did the programming instead of punch cards were a generation before home computers. Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. Well, listen. I think we have now. There's somebody called Beryl Smith. Is that the only one looking for a reading? And Eric? That's it? Bryn, you're not calling? Bryn can't hear. Okay. All right. Well, so we got two. We only got two. If you guys aren't going to get in queue, we're going to probably wind up early tonight. And but we'll take a song break. Oh, cool. We'll take a song break and then we'll come back and take these couple of calls. How's that, Barbara?
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Are you looking for a place to meet like-minded people? Perhaps you're a light worker looking for a safe place to share your thoughts and services. We've got a place for you, intuitalks.com. Join for free, post updates, blogs, create and join groups via website or radio or class package. The possibilities are endless. Join the all spiritual, all under one roof network, www.intuitalks.com.
All right, we are back, and I'll do a quick shout out, and then we'll get back to work here. Amish Comedian is here, and Barbara DeLong is our guest. Bryn is here. Dan the man who only flies when he's lonely. And Deb is here from Calgary. Diane up there in Ontario as well. Fellini, how are you? Why do I think you're from Canada too? Gemini Moon, Jan, hi Jan, Nancy Ray, very nice to see you. Eric is waiting on the phone, there you go. Lots of Canucks were going to take over. Curious times. There was so long. I was so outnumbered by Americans. You know what I mean, on my show. It's been nice to pick up. Although if we could trade, we'll trade. Can we trade? That Dream Master, we could trade Dream Master for any one of the American listeners. And so anyway, that's a joke. That's almost like the Justin Bieber trade, you know what I mean? And this kind of thing. I know, I'm bad. Okay, let's go get Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
Hi. Are we about to start hockey season, or is that already underway?
I think it's underway. Oh, long underway, like since September or October.
Okay. I just survived, football season, so, I'm kind of... I have a question, though. It used to just be the Rose Bowl, and then there was the Orange Bowl, and then there was the Pineapple Bowl, and then there was, they should have a toilet bowl.
A toilet bowl, the Peach Bowl, and they got a bowl for everything, And
I think the two lowest ranked teams should play in the toilet bowl.
They should have a hash bowl. And so anyhow, punch bowl. That's called hockey. They call that hockey up here, Bryn.
I'm trying to decide, which hockey team to actually follow. The Ducks I love because they always played at the Quack of Dawn, and they had such a, well, really, they did. That's how they advertise themselves, but my gosh, I got the Rangers and I've got the Islanders here and then the Bruins, and so I'm trying to pick my team because
you're in Massachusetts, though, aren't you?
No, I'm in Connecticut, so I'm between. I'm between the Bruins and the Islanders and the Rangers, and I don't even know where the Ducks are from.
Look at the standings, Barbara, and whoever's the furthest ahead is who you cheer for. And then you can choose the winner, you know?
I was trying to do that with football, but I didn't get very far. So, because I'm in New England, the Patriots, so. Yeah. The only football team I actually hear about that I really even listen halfway is my son John went to USC, so. The Trojans, and I hear about them. So, not that I do it voluntarily, but I hear about them. So,
yeah. Well, do you want trade us for Suzanne? No, we will not accept Suzanne. We'll let them keep Suzanne, and we'll give them Dennis. Okay. So, are you ready to take a couple calls?
Sure.
Well, Bryn was here first, so let's go get Bryn. Hi, Bryn. How's it going? Where have you been? How come you haven't been around? Explain yourself.
I've just been busy and taking care of my mother and trying to live my life at the same time in New York City.
Yeah.
But Happy New Year, Chris. It's good to hear you.
Happy New Year to you, too. It's nice to see you back, Bryn.
Yeah. Happy New Year, Barbara.
Hi, Bryn. Happy New Year to you, too.
Yeah, thank you. I guess my question is, if I could just get a little overview of the year ahead, if that's possible to ask.
Sure, I can give you a little overview. No problem.
Okay. All right.
It feels like this is going to be a year in which there's a tremendous amount of growth for you on many different levels. That you are committed to making some changes, making some alterations, moving in new directions, and it does feel as though spiritually there's a great deal of new insight and wisdom that you have access to. Although at the moment you sound exhausted, it does feel as though you're going to find your energy picks up as we get closer to spring. You feel as though you have been through the ringer. And you probably have. You've done a lot of what it feels as though there's a lot of karmic work that you've done over the last 2 or 3 years. And it finally has, taken its toll, and yet it also broke through some barriers that you would put up within yourself, and so now you really have access to far more information, wisdom, insight, and inspiration, actually. So it's an exciting time for you as we get into this new year. It does feel as though you're committed to balancing yourself a little bit better, to creating a sanctuary for yourself, a place where you can sort of sit and just recharge your batteries as you get into the February time frame. February is a time where you really need to look towards taking a better care of yourself. Diet and vitamins and more water and all sorts of stuff like that. It's almost as though you kind of have let some stuff go, and it's time to kind of put yourself back on track as far as even I don't know, pedicures and manicures and massages and things like that are really important to you if you can fit them in. Wonderful. Also the element of yoga, because there is a greater need for flexibility within your life than you have at the moment in time. It feels as though there's a tightness here that needs to be.
I broke my foot today. I broke my right foot walking. Something snapped in my
oh wow.
Sort of outside medial to metatarsal, and I have to go to the doctor tomorrow, and part of the exhaustion, so I can't walk as a great way to start off the year.
Well, in a way, your right side is that which you put forward first. That's how you reach out to start moving in new directions, and to have broken your right foot is basically, in many ways, you can go from you were a klutz to the universe is trying to have you stay in one place for a time. It's not time to move. It's not time to shift and change. It's time to sort of stay in place and let the dust settle, so to speak. And as you get into the March time frame, putting pieces of a puzzle together here, it feels as though you're beginning to understand the expansion that the consciousness has taken, and you're beginning to sort of flow into new directions. You still have commitments, of course, and those you are going to honor and to take care of. But at the same time, it feels there is a sense of creativity going on in your life that is allowing you to have a better balance here. It feels as you move into April as though there's body, mind, spirit being pulled together. There's a sense here of new direction, new insight, and new elements that you're going to kind of move into. I feel projects, and this feels as though it has to do with home, with a sense of creativity, so that you're able to sort of fill some of the spaces inside of yourself that are empty for some reason. And it feels as though there's a sense of looking more and more into the spiritual aspects that are within you, and allowing them to sort of bring magic and talent and gifts from past lifetimes into this lifetime to sort of enhance and bring greater brightness and energy and vibrancy into your reality. As you hit the May time frame, here's where I see you actually from the May time frame on. It feels as though things get easier for you, things flow more easily for you. You may find yourself having small headaches and things like that. Your crown chakra is opening up. There's a greater flow of energy here, and as you hit June, there's a sense here of bringing the laughter back into your life. And I'm not saying that you're a dull or depressing person. I'm just saying that you haven't brought the laughter into your life as much as you have in the past, and it does feel as though there's a flood of light and laughter here in the June time frame. July has you with balance and justice coming into your life. You're dealing with some legal matters of some sort, and it does feel as it's a very good feeling. I feel that you are there's closure here. There's taking care of putting something to bed, so to speak. And as you hit the August time frame, there's a sense here of you getting back to some of the interests that you've put aside because you had other things you had to do. So here's where I see you beginning to really get back involved with some of the things that you love to do, the things, the areas you like to investigate and sink yourself into. I see lots of books around you, and it feels as though you're going to try to catch up on some reading. It also feels as you move into more towards the end of the August time frame, there's a sense here of putting yourself back to school, reminding yourself of the wisdom that you have collected and the tools that you've gathered over time, and beginning to sort of incorporate them into your everyday life so that you're able to have a greater vibrancy and energy and way of impacting other people's lives with your life. And it does feel as you hit the September time frame, here's the threshold card, and that basically suggests that you are focusing beyond the here and the now into new dimensions, other dimensions, that you've expanded your frame of reference here so that you can utilize the tones and the music that is around you in different ways, taking you into a different zone almost, I guess is a good word for it. It does feel as though music is really, really important to you, and you seem to have not been embracing it as much as you could. There's a sense of allowing yourself to flow. You're trying to control a spiritual aspect of yourself that it's very hard to do. And well, it's not hard. It's impossible. You can't control your spiritual direction or your spiritual growth. That's something that is preordained before you came into this lifetime. As you hit the November time frame, it does feel as though the intuition, the element of inspiration is here, and I do feel you inspired to move in new directions. There is the aspect of being able to read other people to a greater degree than ever before. Not to read them professionally, but to know whether or not they are appropriate for you and for your life and for the direction you're taking. There's a lot of healing energy here, so that as you hit the December time frame, you're kind of letting go of emotional stuff, baggage that you've carried, and the element of healing is here too. So you have been a healer in past lifetimes. This is an aspect that you can either use or not this lifetime, depending on what's most appropriate for you. But you do have that aspect of healing, whether it's through words or through touch or through music. You have a lot of modalities that you can use to help people to heal and yourself. And that old adage of heal or heal thyself is very appropriate here, because we're of absolutely no good to other people unless we have practiced on ourselves first. Okay?
Wow, thank you so much. It's the best thing that's happened. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Best thing that's happened this year?
What was that? I didn't hear you.
Considering you broke your foot and it's only the 4th, things will get better.
Right.
Things will get better. And good.
Thank
so
you so much.
good luck with everything.
Yeah, I have to get to bed now because I have an early doctor's appointment to see what happened to my foot. So I'll have to say goodnight to everybody. So
all right,
you
Chris. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Barbara. Take care.
You're welcome.
Let this not be the only time this year we see you.
Yeah,
Okay?
no, not definitely, Chris. I miss you. Yeah, take care.
All right, take it easy.
Right.
All right, peace out. Okay, there you go. So then, Eric, where's Eric? There's Eric. Hi, Eric. Happy New Year.
I don't hear Eric.
Eric, I did unmute him. Eric, hello.
Oh, hello, Chris. Hi, Barbara. Happy New Year to both of you.
Happy New Year.
And to everybody out there in the chat. Barbara, could I get a past life reading on whatever might seem most relevant to you for me at this time?
Sure.
Thank you.
Cool. Did you call the Revolution Radio show the other night, a while back?
I did some weeks ago, yeah, and I really appreciate that let a rip you did for me then.
Okay. I heard Eric, and then I said, "Oh, is that my Eric, the one I know?"
My Eric.
My Eric, yes. Okay. I thought, well, whoever it was said yes, so I thought, well, if it isn't, it's okay, but I was pretty sure it was you.
At that time, we were kind of short on time, so I didn't say much, but I do appreciate it.
Oh, no, that's okay. Okay, let me see. Wow. Okay. I'm getting, first of all, the first thing that's most important is the element of freedom is crucial to you this lifetime. And I'm seeing a number of past lifetimes where you have been restricted and broken free, gotten your freedom, and been successful. And I guess the first one that comes up here is a Norse lifetime. At least it's put in that time frame of the Vikings and stuff like that. 1100s in there, and you were a prisoner. You were chained to oars. You were you rowed the boats, and you were a nobleman, but you were a prisoner, and so that's what you were chained to the oars, and it was a good thing for you because there was a great arrogance in you before this happened to you, and once you were enslaved, you learned humility, and there was a shipwreck. You were able to break free. You got your freedom, and were able to go back to your home, which was in Great Britain, and they hadn't given up hope on you, so you were able to retake your position there, and because of the humility that you learned while a prisoner, you became a much better person, and you were able to reverse a lot of the bad things that you had done and became very loved because of your compassion for the people around you. Now, the element of freedom applies to you this lifetime because whenever you feel that you don't have anywhere to turn, that you are unable to make choices or decisions that are best for you, you become almost back in that mindset of being a slave to something, and resentment builds until you break free and take whatever lesson it is that you've learned and apply it to your lifetime. I feel that you're going through one of those time frames now where you feel trapped and yet you're learning a greater sense of humility, and once you break free, there's going to be a greater richness in your life that is going to be very profound and change things greatly, and you will be breaking free by March. If I take you back even further, there's a sense here of, I'm going to take you back, let's see, even further than that. That was about the 1100s. I want to take you back to, I'm going to take you back 5,000 years. I want to take you back to, no, let me say 10,000 years. Let me take you back 10,000 years to what is now Bosnia. And again, that was not your home, but that's where I pick your life up. You had been, again, in a war of some sort. You had been a soldier, and you had been captured, and you were one of those that helped to build the Bosnian pyramids that have just now actually been discovered. And you toiled and you worked hard, and you were very strong, and you actually in this particular lifetime, when you broke free, you took at least 100 other people with you, and you fought your way back to your homeland, which was again over in the Europe area, and you started a village with these people, and it grew into a very thriving center because everyone trusted you, believed in you, and supported you. And it's fascinating because you were so well loved. It was unbelievable. And in that particular lifetime, it wasn't enough to just free yourself. You had to free those around you as well, because you couldn't stand to see the injustice that was being put upon you. Are you familiar with the Bosnian pyramids at all?
Very loosely. I haven't researched them very much, but I have heard of such things.
Yeah, they're working on getting into the tunnels underneath them. They're not sure where they lead, but they are honeycombed with passageways. So it's going to be fascinating to see what actually is there. There's another lifetime here too, though, that is not of slavery. It is more of servitude, and this goes back about 8,000 years. And we're in Egypt here with this one, and you were a priest of one of the temples, and you were in charge of making sure the storehouses were full. You were very high up in the priesthood, and yet you served behind the scenes, so to speak. You were very dedicated. You were very committed. You were very into the spiritual aspect of what it was you were doing. There was a meticulousness about you that was greatly respected and valued, and you were rewarded for your meticulousness and your trustworthiness during this particular lifetime. You were raised to be in the priesthood. It was not a choice of yours, but it was something that you loved profoundly because it didn't require you to do anything other than worship and serve. And those two elements were very, very important to you in that lifetime. This lifetime, there is that element of service in you as well. And in that lifetime, you pull Spock in, you lived long and prospered. You were greatly respected. You had, when you passed, you had a burial that you were buried very close to one of the pharaoh's tombs. You were honored because of your service to the pharaoh. So this lifetime, you have that dedication, you have that humility, but it's the sense of freedom that is so important to you. You get a feeling of claustrophobia when things just aren't moving for you, and it's almost like you can't breathe. And once you break free, there's a surge of adrenaline that is just profound, that makes that you're capable of doing amazing things. And I would strongly urge you to. I'm not saying quit your day job, but I am saying find something within this lifetime that gives you that sense of freedom. That, and it feels like music is here too. Is there music in your life?
I haven't really played music as a musician for many years. Just as a kid, I took piano lessons, but I've always had an interest in music.
Gosh, from what I'm seeing here, I would highly recommend you get back involved to whatever degree is appropriate for you, because you have a natural flair for putting the emotion into the music that is very profound. Yeah, you don't have to, be a professional anything, but it would be a form of meditation. It would be a way of expression that would take you into other realms and allow you to, for a time, escape from whatever restrictions you feel you have in your life. Okay?
I really appreciate that, Barbara, and you're right. I think I should pursue that.
Yeah, I'd go back to it. And if not that, I would just spend time listening to instrumentals and just instrumentals. And the one form of music, the one thing I would really suggest you listen to is Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Because Vivaldi's Four Seasons is the tempo for super learning. Okay. So it'll take you to a place and open you up so that you can absorb more.
Did you say Vivaldi? How do you spell Vivaldi?
Oh, help me, chat room. Vivaldi.
V-A-V something?
V-I-V-A-L. Yeah, V-I-V-A-L-D-I.
Okay, great.
Great.
Do you? I was just going to say, regarding me with music, do you recommend a instrument? Any specific kind?
Well, it's funny. 3 come to mind. One would be a guitar, one would be a piano, and the other is a lyre.
Huh. Okay.
I see strings.
A lyre is like a harp, right?
It's a handheld harp, yeah.
Okay.
They have great sounds.
I was considering learning the guitar, but I'll think of the others as well. So.
Whatever floats your boat. Actually, hit a good music store and try some lyres out because they have an amazing sound, and it's different. But you're definitely a string person, so I'm fine with guitar so long as it's not so long as it's an acoustic guitar. I wouldn't say, I'm not feeling or seeing an electric guitar. I'm seeing an acoustical guitar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's what I'm seeing. It doesn't mean that, if an electric guitar is really what floats your boat, go ahead and do it. But the kind of music I'm seeing around you is a more classical, melodious sound rather than, the wangy, stringy stuff of an electrical guitar.
Mm-hmm. I actually do have an acoustic guitar, but I haven't learned to use it yet.
Well, I might start there.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate everything you've told me, and as always, I appreciate you, Barbara.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Eric. Thanks. If I were you, and even if you don't want to, like the way when I was learning guitar, I just found chords, and it just shows you where to press your fingers, and if I was you, I would just do that anyway, because you will need really to toughen up your fingertips, because it can hurt like hell, and it'll be better if you decide to take formal lessons, if you go in there with tough fingertips to begin with. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah. Cool. Well, have fun.
Thanks a lot, both of you.
All right. Take care. Okay, so a few more have joined. So we're going to have Amish comedian, and then there's Florida, and then Yvette. And so, hey Amish, how's it going?
Happy New Year, ladies.
Happy New Year.
May I have a letter rip, please, Barbara?
Oh, my, sure.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. Well, this year is actually a rather spectacular one for you, because it does feel as though you're letting go of a lot of stuff from the past. It feels as though it's a time in which you're basically mellowing out, blending out, softening the rough edges, and becoming not a wimp, but becoming more profound at rising above. And it does feel as though that's really, really important to you, because you are an amazing light, and there's a great deal of healing energy here. The healing energy is through words and through voice. Not as much through the hands, but the voice and the words that come from you do elicit healing energy and help people to heal themselves. It feels as though this is a time for you to focus on a lot of the modalities that you have access to, but you haven't been utilizing for a long time. It also is a time for you to sort of stretch and grow in new directions, because if we're not constantly growing and learning, then there's no point in being here. And it does feel like it's really important for you to continue to learn and to grow, whether it be spiritual or intellectual. I don't really care, so long as you're learning more stuff. It doesn't have to be a 4-year college plan or anything like that. It just has to be learning more stuff. I keep hearing the need to stretch yourself, the need to move in new directions, the need to sort of open up some doors and bring more insight and challenge into your life, because it feels here as though you've kind of coasted for a little while, and it's time to stretch. It's time to grow. It's time to be a little more creative and unique in different ways. And the more different, the more unique you are, the more exciting the whole process gets. As we hit February, it feels as though the element of your spiritual direction is profound, and it does feel as though there is a download of material from the other side, and it feels like you're getting these downloads on a pretty regular basis. They do knock you off your keister for a short period of time. It feels as though every time there's a download, you go down with a download, and then have to sort of get a lot of sleep to come, to get back into the flow of energy of all the things that you have that you do. It feels as though the spiritual is in many ways touching into new areas of your life, and taking you into new venues. I strongly feel that you're moving into some of the new paradigms that are out there, some of the new insights. Now, they're not actually new insights. They've been out there for a very long time. It's just that on the consciousness level, we haven't been open to accepting them and blending with them and incorporating them into our own reality, so that you're right on the edge of new thoughts, new directions, new wisdoms that are coming from the universe, and you're going to need new venues to express them in, and it feels as though you're reaching into new modalities to utilize to put spiritual messages out there, whether it feels like it's writing, actually, whether it's a blog, whether it's a tweet, whether it's I don't know, there's so many out there now that it's hard to keep track of them all. But it does feel as though your words carry great energy and great insight and they touch, I got to say, millions of people, so that you have a lot to share, a lot to give, and one of the downsides to having a gift like you have is that you never really get a full understanding of how many people you have actually touched, and that's good, because if you knew how many people you actually touched, you'd get a big head and you wouldn't be the nice down to earth person you are. So it's sort of learning how to trust and let go and to move on. And I do feel that you are flowing with that energetic beautifully. By the time you get to March, this is a time where you're picking up fragments of insights and sort of hints as to new directions to go in, because I do believe you will be going in a new direction this next year. And it's a pathway that will open up for you that will probably take you and carry you for the next decade or so. I feel that there is a sense here of combining a lot of the different elements that you've had from past lifetimes and working them into a new philosophy, a new way of helping people. And it does feel as though there's the element of teacher here as well, which is really kind of profound. And it does, you do it lightheartedly, you do it in a unique and different way that is just, unique unto you, which is amazing. I don't feel that you're going to sort of let anybody else tell you how to do what you feel you need to do. There's the element of magic and miracles, expecting the unexpected as you get into April. Here's where the light really shines. Here's where you really have one, if not two or three of those beautiful mountaintop experiences that so many of us, we all want to have, and once you've had one, you just hope you can regain that feeling, that energy. It feels as though there's a sense here of your consciousness truly connecting to that spirit that is within you, and for a moment, and it's a brief moment, you feel the rush of bliss that is there. It's not a near-death experience. It's a different thing, but it is a sense of bliss that you will never forget. And you will work for and towards, for the rest of your life to achieve something like that again. And I do feel that once you've had it, it's kind of like anxiety attacks. Once you've had one, you keep having them. So, but it's a sense of bliss that takes you in new directions and helps you to see new areas that you can take your gifts and your talents and your tools and help other people on their journeys as well. As you move into May, there's a sense here of transmutation. There's a sense of being able to see the challenges you've had and to grow from them, to accept them as gifts, and no matter how ridiculous or uncomfortable they were, but to accept them as gifts and realize that there is a powerful element of truth within every single one of them that enables you to become a better person. And once you grasp those truths, you turn a situation that was painful or uncomfortable into one that helps you to grow and to surge in new directions and open yourself up to the wisdom that you have carried throughout all of time. As you hit June, there's a sense here of a guardian angel around you. I feel that this is the spirit that dwells within you. I feel that there's great wisdom here. And should you decide to write, that this will be a wonderful venue for you to bring information through. I can't remember who it was that did that. I feel that there's a great deal of material here, and it is comparable to the Seth material, but evolved to this time frame, so that you have a message to give to humanity, and it does feel as though you're going to write and publish, and you may not even publish under your own name. You may use a pseudonym only because you don't want to draw attention to yourself. You want the message to be out there, but you don't want to take anything away from the message, so that you put it out there so that the material can serve humanity on a higher level than it would be if there was a person pushing the work, so to speak. You've got a guardian angel card right next to a threshold card, which basically are talking of pulling wisdom and knowledge and insight from other dimensions as well. So it does feel as though there's a sense here of touching into other dimensions, of reaching into other aspects of that space that's out there, and sort of transcending the physical. So I feel a lot of out-of-body work here, and it does look as though it's a lot of fun for you. All of this, while it feels very heady and it feels very important and it feels very spiritual, unless it has a sense of humor with it, it just is so, it becomes so heavy duty that no one listens. So there's a sense of laughter and light here as well, and you blend the two beautifully. There's commitment to put information out there. There's a commitment to make changes. There's a commitment to open yourself to new directions. And in order for all of this to happen, there's an element of understanding that your life has to be balanced, and in order for it to be balanced, the element of relationship has to be worked on as well. Not exactly an element that it feels like you're comfortable with working on, but it does feel as though this is one of the last pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, to come in and to be balanced out with everything else. Focus on yourself is important in September. It does feel as though you need to really focus on the directions that make you comfortable, that make you feel good, that you feel are right for you. And you'll notice I'm not saying think at all, I'm saying feel. So thinking is one of the biggest problems you have. If you start thinking, you pull yourself down into the physical realms. If you only feel, your spirit is allowed to have greater input into your life. It's amazing. As you hit the October time frame, lots and lots of books, lots and lots of material, lots and lots of research. You're up to your eyebrows in research and stretching into new areas and dimensions, and then taking it all in and making it your own, so that the wisdom that you share with other people has a wonderful foundation that comes from times past, but it has been brought up to speed with this time frame, so to speak, and possibly for the generations ahead, so that it makes more sense. It applies to the lifetimes that we now live. As you come into November, there's a sense of there are a lot of choices that you're going to have open to you. It's going to be a time in which you are able to choose directions that you feel are best for you. The reality is all of the directions will take you to the same conclusion, but you do have free will. Just remember that you can take the short path or the long path, but it's going to take you to the same place. And remember also, free will is not free, that we must always be responsible for the consequences of our actions. Though I don't see that there's any problem here, it just feels as though you always question, which is the right direction to go. And if you stand still long enough, the universe will boot you in the rear end and shove you down one of the pathways. So it doesn't really matter which one you take. It's just a matter of actually putting one foot in front of another. As you get into the December time frame, flow of life it picks up greatly. It feels as though there's a sense of, what the energy is, what the flow is, and it's a matter of, for a while, sitting back and writing it for a while. But I want to get back to the element of relationship, because that seems to be an overriding thing here too, that your relationship with yourself, your relationship with the higher consciousness inside of you, and then with all of the people you are constantly in contact with, you're going to find that a lot of people that you thought were really good friends are just friends, and you're going to find that some people you thought were acquaintances are really good friends. There is going to be an awareness within you to understand where people are coming from, and if they have strings or if they have agendas, and being able to choose whether it's appropriate or not to have them into your inner circle, so to speak. You're not going to be disappointed. You're just going to be surprised. Okay?
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And that feeling of bliss you talked about,
yeah.
I felt it once and was told, you can feel this all the time. And that was like 5 years ago. But I haven't felt it since. But there is the potential to feel that all the time.
Sure there is.
And the book, too, I thought about that, and I am going to write it under a pseudonym for the exact same reasons that you said.
Very cool.
Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Amish. Have a great year, eh?
Oh, you too, eh? Bye.
Hey.
Let's go find Florida. Florida left. Florida hung up. They did not have the patience to wait. So it looks like just... Let me double check. One more. Yvette. Hello, Yvette.
Hey, ladies. Happy New Year. I'm so excited because today is my birthday.
Oh.
Happy to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Yvette. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, Chris. For whatever reason, it was really important to me that I get a reading on my birthday, so I'm so glad, Barbara, you had the show tonight.
Oh.
So
that's so nice.
I want to know about past lives. That's really been, it's been coming up for me a lot. So if you could do like a letter rip on past lives, whatever comes up. And if there's have been any past lives between me and Tony, I would love to know about that too.
Is Tony your current boyfriend?
Sort of, kind of, maybe. He's a good friend.
Okie doke. Okay. You've given me 3 different directions to go here, so it's kind of trying to figure out where the cards want to go. It's interesting, past life-wise. You have in many past lives, and I'm going to leave Tony out of the picture because if he's just sort of like just a friend, he's not connected enough to you to find a past life with him.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. You have in many past lifetimes been a twin. And it's kind of interesting, and it feels as though in many lifetimes you have met your twin, and they have been usually the same gender and become your best friend.
Okay.
So, and this lifetime, sometimes it feels as though you're looking for your other half.
Mm-hmm.
And when people say, I'm looking for my other half, you kind of assume they're saying, I'm looking for my partner. But when you say you're looking for your other half, you're looking for that which completes you as a spirit, because your spirit, you are a complete spirit unto yourself. You're not a twin flame. In other words, there isn't another part of you out there someplace living a life too or something like that. You are a whole spirit here, but in many lifetimes you have journeyed through life with a twin that was in the uterus with you, and so there's a part of you that you talk to yourself a lot. It's really you really do.
And I answer back.
Of course you do. Well, this time, both aspects of the twin are within you, so that actually when you do talk to yourself, there is another energy there. It's not that there's another spirit there, but there's another part of your energy that is there. You were twins back in China, and it was fascinating. You had a sister. You were both sold into, or not sold in, well, I guess sold into the harem of an emperor. And I'm going back thousands of years. Both of you had your feet bound, and you have trouble with your feet now. And it feels, especially your right foot. Do you have trouble with your right foot?
They get a little swollen sometimes.
Okay. I mean, if you want to be really grossed out, Google what bound feet look like when they're unbound. But you were beautiful, and you had an amazing voice, and you sang, and you and your sister sang beautifully, and you were treasured for your voices. You led a really blessed lifetime. That time you were treated well. You were carried wherever you went. You were groomed. You were stars. This lifetime, it feels as though that element of that remembrance of being catered to is here in your memory a lot, and it does feel as though I don't know. I keep feeling your feet may as you get older. They may give you some trouble, but it's only because they were bound at one time, and there's nothing going to be wrong with them, so don't worry about that. I feel strongly also that there are several past lives here that were twins, but let me go to one that wasn't a twin. You've had twins in past lifetimes too. What sign are you? Just out of curiosity.
Capricorn, January 4th.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to find why the twins are so important to you. Because you have had twins in past lifetimes, and you have struggled for their survival, and you have always made sure that they survived and they were well cared for. You are an amazing, compassionate, kind, generous person, and you have been through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You have been a singer in the element of song has been profound for you in many lifetimes. You had your voice was just amazing. I want to take you back. In India, you had a voice that was just, you could hit those high notes it was breathtaking. In that lifetime, you were sold into slavery, and because of your voice, you were treated well. You were treated exceedingly well. You had a lonely life, but your voice was something that absolutely could tame the wild beast. It was just profound. I mean, do you sing this lifetime?
No. I can carry a tune, but no, I'm not a solo singer.
Wow. You have been a star. You have been an amazing star. And I would say that you most probably have had dreams of being on stage or of performing and having thunderous clapping come at you. If I take you back to, let me see. I'm just going to take you back a couple hundred years, maybe 4 or 5, to Great Britain. you were not only an amazing singer, but you were the mistress to the king. And so you have, you've known what it was like to be with royalty, to be treated like royalty. And it was your voice that drew the king in, and you loved him dearly. You had 3 children with him. Of course, none of them, I mean, they were all provided for, and given rank, actually, in court. But you died young in that particular lifetime. But the king never married. He never married. He was so devoted to you. Now, that energy is back this lifetime. It is not your friend.
What do you mean?
The one that you was sort of kind of maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not this energy, but this energy, the king that mourned you and never married, is back this lifetime, and you will meet him.
Wow. Okay.
That's magic coming. There's also the element here of the music is really profound. The element of twins is profound. There's a new balance in your life here, and it feels as though, especially May through June, very, very important time frame for you. A new balance, a new beginning, and a new aspect of yourself is being birthed. There's a lot of energy flowing from the past into you this particular lifetime. Do your fingers tingle? Do you feel warmth in your hands?
Yes, I do. They do tingle. I thought it was diabetes, Barbara.
Well, I would definitely get it checked with a doctor, but I don't think it's diabetes. I think it's just energy.
Okay.
And I would strongly recommend that you try Reiki if you've never tried Reiki, and if it feels right to you, do take Reiki 1 and Reiki 2, because that enables you to work with energy on yourself and to give it to other people as well. Okay. So but yeah, you have energy just seeping out here. It's amazing.
Okay.
Okay?
You mentioned something. You said my friend. He's not a friend. Were you connecting him with the king from the past lifetime? No. Okay. All right.
No, I was not. Okay. I'm just my other kitten has decided to show itself here. This is Petey. Say hello.
Hi.
Say hello.
Okay.
Say hello.
I said hello. I didn't hear Petey say hello to me, but I said hello to Petey.
Okay, listen carefully.
Oh, there it is. I got it. Thank you.
You get a purr.
Yay, so sweet.
Yeah,
well,
yeah, I hate being on camera.
Oh. I can't see you.
No, I went away.
Okay. Well, I'm going to look for this king.
No, don't look for him.
Don't look for him?
Don't look for him. He'll find you.
Okay.
Just get on with your stuff and do absolutely check out the Reiki, because that might help you to help yourself some, because it feels like you've got some aches and pains that Reiki energy would really help.
Okay. All right, awesome. Thank you for my birthday reading, Barbara.
You're so welcome. Take care now.
All right, Chris. Thank you, too. Talk to you guys later. Happy New Year.
Yeah, you too. Take it easy. So it looks like that's all our callers, Barbara.
Okay, well that was done. That reading was done through the cat.
Yes, there you go. Love it when your animals do the reading.
We did that once, didn't we? He threw up on the cards. That was a fun night. That really was. I mean, I loved the cat did pick the cards, and when he threw up, all I could say was, well, you have a lot of stuff that you have to regurgitate.
Yeah, I know, right? So tell people where they can find you through the week, and then we can get out of Dodge.
Okay, well, I'm at barbara.delong.com. That's the website. It's a teaching website. And where else? Oh, nothing more this week. Next Monday is Freedom Slips at 10 to 12, and then Wednesday will be Blog Talk 8 to 10.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much. Great first show of the year. Looking forward to more. And looking forward to watching kitties grow up. Here on First Times.
They're so cute. They are so cute.
Yeah, they really are. I got muted. There's a few things that you can't possibly look at without smiling. You know what I mean? And that's one of them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So.
Well,
he
was sitting here following the cursor on the screen, and finally he decided to just flop down and on top of all the cards. And so I figured, well, I'll grab this one too. And now you've seen them both.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad for the peak. And glad for the peak. And so, okay, well, we will see you next time. Another month.
Absolutely. Yes. Take care now.
Okay. You take it easy, Barbara. Thank you so much. And,
good night.
Good night. Good night. BarbaraDeLong.com. BarbaraDeLong.com. You can find her schedule, her archives, and everything over there on her website. Now, I'm going to play a song and see if you guys are doing overtime or not. And so we'll do a song, and then we'll figure it out from there. Let me find here. All right. I don't think anybody is really here for overtime, kids.
Yes, we are.
Dan,
not so soon.
Oh, I didn't see you up there, Amy. Okay, Amy's here. Dan is there, but he's muted.
Can you hear me now?
More.
How's it going?
Oh, really exciting here. I went to the chiropractor and I'm trying out some new Presto logs. That's the excitement for my day.
Oh, geez. New Presto. How can it get any better than that?
Oh, the excitement.
For an old guy like you better slow down there, mister. Slow down.
Yeah, life in the fast lane.
There you go. Oh, I'm going to just say thanks to the archive listeners, and we'll just wrap the recording now. And we'll be back tomorrow with Amy. Amy's our guest tomorrow. And
and I'm going to do something a little bit different because something came up.
Oh, good.
Oh, wait. I'm going to talk about archetype.
Okay.
How to do your archetypes.
Okay. Okay, good. So thank you, archive listeners. We'll be back tomorrow.